The year is 2025. America is grappling with economic uncertainty, political polarization, and a growing sense of distrust in its institutions. Enter DOGE, the Department of Open Government Efficiency, Elon Musk's brainchild and a lightning rod for controversy. Tasked with streamlining government spending and exposing waste, DOGE quickly found itself at the heart of a storm, unearthing a massive unemployment fraud scheme that shook the nation. The numbers were staggering. Almost 10,000 fraudulent claims, totaling nearly $70 million, were discovered, with the money siphoned away from legitimate claimants in desperate need. These weren't cases of minor oversights or creative accounting, they were blatant acts of fraud, with some claimants using birth dates from the distant future. One even claiming to be born in 2154. The sheer audacity of the fraud sent shockwaves through the nation. How could a system designed to support the most vulnerable be so easily exploited? The discovery raised serious questions about government oversight, data security, and the integrity of the systems entrusted with taxpayer dollars. It was a wake-up call, a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities that existed within the nation's bureaucratic machinery. The fraud, however, was just the tip of the iceberg. DOGE's investigations revealed a deeper, more systemic problem: wasteful spending and a bloated bureaucracy that seemed to prioritize self-preservation over efficiency and accountability. This discovery would set the stage for a series of events that would further divide the nation and ignite a firestorm of controversy. The revelations of widespread unemployment fraud sent shockwaves through American society, leaving many citizens reeling from the sheer scale of the deception. The fact that such a significant sum of money, intended for those struggling to make ends meet, could be so brazenly stolen, eroded public trust in government institutions. News outlets were flooded with stories of individuals who had been denied unemployment benefits despite being eligible, while fictitious entities were receiving substantial sums. The stark contrast between the plight of legitimate claimants and the audacity of the fraudsters fueled public outrage and a sense of betrayal.
Social media, oh boy, became a breeding ground for conspiracy theories and accusations, further deepening the existing political divides. The incident served as a stark reminder of the vulnerabilities of digital systems and the potential for exploitation in an increasingly interconnected world.
The government's response was swift, with promises of thorough investigations and enhanced security measures to prevent future fraud. However, the damage was done. The unemployment fraud scandal had exposed a deep-seated flaw in the system, leaving an indelible mark on the public's perception of government competence and integrity. Emboldened by its initial findings, DOGE set its sights on the behemoth of government spending, the Department of Defense. Musk, known for his disdain for wasteful spending and bureaucratic inefficiency, believed that the Pentagon was ripe for a shakeup. DOGE's audit uncovered what it deemed to be billions of dollars in unnecessary and potentially fraudulent contracts. Among the most controversial findings was $1.88 billion in consulting contracts awarded to firms like Accenture, Deloitte, and Booz Allen Hamilton.
These contracts, according to DOGE, were often redundant, overpriced, and lacked transparency. They also flagged 11 contracts related to DEI, climate change initiatives, and leftover COVID-19 programs, totaling millions more.
The proposed cuts sent shockwaves through the military-industrial complex. Defense contractors, accustomed to operating with little oversight, pushed back hard, arguing that the cuts would jeopardize national security and harm the economy.
Politicians, many of whom relied on campaign contributions from these same contractors, were caught in the crossfire. The battle over the defense budget became a proxy war for a much larger debate about the role of government, the limits of executive power, and the influence of corporate interests in Washington.
It was a debate that would have far-reaching consequences for the nation's priorities and its place in the world. The unveiling of widespread fraud and the subsequent budget cuts proposed by DOGE ignited a firestorm of controversy, further dividing an already polarized nation. Public opinion on DOGE and its actions was deeply divided, reflecting the existing political fault lines that ran through American society. A March 2025 NBC News poll revealed a mixed bag of opinions about DOGE. While 46% of respondents viewed the agency as a good idea, and 41% viewed its actions positively, a significant 33% considered DOGE's methods reckless.
And Musk himself? Well, he fared even worse, with a negative approval rating of 39% positive to 51% negative.
Supporters of DOGE and Musk, often those with libertarian leanings or a general distrust of big government, applauded the agency's efforts to expose waste and inefficiency. They saw DOGE as a much-needed corrective to a bloated and unaccountable bureaucracy.
Critics, though, weren't holding back. They accused DOGE of being a political tool, used by Musk to advance his own agenda and punish his perceived enemies.
They pointed to the targeting of DEI and climate change initiatives as evidence of a political bias within the agency. Critics argued that DOGE's actions were undermining essential government functions and causing more harm than good.